We're at Cars Russ in the Chesney Market. Today we're talking about our oil change service. Not a quick lube, not a 15-minute oil change, but an oil change service that includes a full, thorough courtesy inspection and the value that that brings to you as our customer. So we're going to walk you through what an inspection looks like so you know exactly how it works, and then what an estimate looks like as well, and how our approval process works.
All right, so we're gonna do our demo of what an inspection looks like. I think this is really gonna help you see the value that Cars R Us brings you when we inspect your vehicle for an oil change. So our process takes 45 minutes to an hour. The reason that is our technicians are doing a full detailed video and picture oriented inspection. We call it a digital inspection, okay? So just to touch on the oil change first, we've got two kind of filters. This is a spin-on standard filter, and then we've got our cartridge filter, okay? Now in the cartridge filter, one of the big things that we've seen is some places they just skip on things. They try to save a penny and they lose customers over it. They don't change that cartridge filter. So when that isn't replaced, that cardboard that you're seeing, this is basically cardboard right here, starts to actually disintegrate over time, and those parts that are starting to fall apart go into the engine, and that could cause engine damage and is a major deal. So all right, in that oil change, then we're going to do your courtesy. So let's walk through what this courtesy looks like. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to see exactly what we send to the customer. So you can get a text or an email with this, and when you receive the inspection, you're going to click and you're going to see this inspection results, and you can see the little pie graph. So I can see I got a lot of green, 53%, incomplete, 26%. That just means some things aren't on the vehicle, like if it's not four-wheel drive or things like that, we're not doing that part of the inspection, right? Gray, just not applicable. And then we've got red and yellow, which are our main items, right? So cool thing, I can click right into this and I can see my cabin filter. That's starting to get dirty, pretty dirty. That's going to be a red. I'm going to replace that cabin filter. Engine air filter, starting not bad, just starting to get a little dirty. Probably next oil change, maybe two, depending on my conditions, right? So all my yellows and reds are going to be at the top. Okay, so I'm going to see that. We're taking pictures of your tire. We're checking pressures. We're checking depth of the tire, and we check three spots. So we check here, here, and here, so we can see all of the different tread measurements of the tire, because sometimes you have uneven wear. So if that inside edge is lower than the middle or the outside, if we don't check it, you can need tires and then, oh, it looks good, and then you get a blowout because those tires are getting weak as that tread gets thinner. All of a sudden you get a blowout, and we could have prevented that. That's why we work really hard on that inspection to avoid those things. Okay, struts. Huge part, right? This vehicle's at like 130,000, so struts are recommended. What happens is it starts to nosedive, it starts to wear out your brakes, all that, and we're giving you a description right here of why we recommend it and what it's going to do for you, so that way you understand it. We've also got videos in some of them that you can see, okay? And we've got the start of a small oil leak. Now this is really helpful because this actually is my vehicle, and the next time this was in, this oil leak was really bad. So we can go back to this and see, hey, we had a little oil leak. Now next time it's in, there's a coverage underneath the vehicle and it's dripping. We got to replace that part. So we're not selling you something you don't need now. We're just monitoring it. We're going to clean it off. We're going to say, okay, how much new oil is on that vehicle the next time it comes in? Is it low on oil? And then we can recommend that oil, that leak fix. So that's going to save you budget, but it's also not going to allow it to get bad enough where all of a sudden you're low on oil and you end up damaging your motor or anything. Under here, we're checking fluids, we're looking at levels, we're checking your battery. This is a great thing. I love the battery test because right now it's 100%. We just actually replaced this the visit before this. And when this starts to go down, all of a sudden we start seeing 90, 80. So we can measure that. We can look at the past inspections, and you can do the same thing because those leaks are always good. And now you see that, hey, that battery was 80%. Now it's 60%. It's 40. Oh man, we better get a battery in there. You're going to get left sitting. So we can kind of predict where that battery is in its life and get that replaced before it's an issue, but also get the maximum life out of it, which is important. Brakes, we're checking with millimeters. A lot of places do percentages, and this is where deception in the industry comes in, because you've got a brake pad that we're measuring and you're saying it's 25%. Well, 25% of what? We don't know what the measurement of the starting pad was. So it's really just a guess. And what happens when that guess is inaccurate, that's where deception comes in, and you feel like you're being taken advantage of because you bring it in somewhere else and they say, oh, you don't need brakes, right? And then you think the place is trying to rip you off. that might just be incompetence or the way that they inspect is not accurate, right? So we do measurements. You can see both sets of brakes are green. These are at 8 millimeter. You know, we're going to measure that. If it's red, it's 2, 3, 4 millimeters, then you need them now. And that way we aren't selling those brakes early, but we're recommending it. By the time it's yellow, we're giving you a budget already. So that way you've got that. Again, front shocks, you can see educational video here. So you can click into that. You can learn about what those components do. Checking differentials, there's that fluid leak we already looked at, and then we're checking your exhaust. So we're doing a really thorough, complete vehicle inspection within this process. So, okay, so hopefully that inspection walkthrough helps you to understand why a 45-minute to an hour oil change is important, because if you're getting a 15-minute quick lube inspection, they are not lifting the vehicle up in the air. So anything that is underneath the car, brakes, tires, steering suspension, fluid leaks underneath, they're not going to see any of that. So yes, you could do that in a pinch. It's better to get the oil change, but really a thorough inspection is very important for you to get on a regular basis, because you hit potholes, things change on the vehicle. We're going to help you to make it safe and cost effective. And then the alternative is we also pick them up, drop them off from your place of work, your home. So there's no, I got to get it on Saturday, I'm in a rush. We'll make sure it's convenient so your schedule is easy to accommodate, and that way you can use your day, keep going. We've got loaner cars. All these processes are in place to make sure that you can get your vehicle serviced and make sure it's safe and cost effective, but in a timely manner, and keep your day moving. So YouTube, like, comment, share, subscribe to our page. We need you guys to love it. Hopefully you love this video, and we'll put some more content out there for you as well. Thanks again.